The knife stopped halfway through the turkey. Her words cut sharper than any blade. $8 million. The room froze. Forks hovered in midair, glasses shook in people's hands. My father opened his mouth, but nothing came out. And my sister, my golden sister, looked at me like I'd just committed treason. I had grown up in her shadow. She was the firstborn, the favorite, the one whose trophies were displayed and whose mistakes were brushed off with laughter. When she crashed the car at 17, they chuckled and called it a learning experience. When I brought home straight A's, they barely lifted their eyes from their wine. My existence only mattered when it could make her shine brighter. When I wasn't useful, I was forgotten. I told myself it didn't matter, that one day, I'd build a life they couldn't ignore. So while she floated on compliments, I worked quietly and relentlessly. Every insult was fuel. Every overlooked achievement became a brick in the foundation I was building. No one noticed the nights I stayed in, studying. No one cared about the internships I clawed my way into or the companies I bet on when everyone else thought I was crazy. By 35, I had built something real. Something they couldn't see, couldn't control. $8 million. Mine. It wasn't supposed to come out, but secrets never stay hidden forever. I saw it in the way my mother's texts turned sweeter, suddenly curious about my work. In the way my father offered investment advice. And in the way my sister circled me like a hawk. At Thanksgiving, she pounced. Glass of wine in hand, smile tight, she said, "So tell everyone, is it true? Do you really have $8 million? Every eye turned to me. I saw the setup instantly. This was their trap, their chance to paint me as selfish, ungrateful, someone who kept everything from family. But I didn't blink. I calmly set down my fork, dabbed my mouth with the napkin, and said, yes. Just that one word. The air cracked. Gasps slipped out. A fork clattered onto a plate. My sister's brittle smile shattered into rage. Are you kidding me? She exploded. While I've been struggling, you're sitting on millions and you don't even help. I stayed calm. I had been waiting for this. For months, I had let small hints slip, a comment here, a vague mention there, just enough to make her suspicious, to let jealousy grow. And I made sure the eruption would happen here, in front of them. I leaned back. I didn't think you'd be interested in helping me build it, I said evenly. You were too busy being the star. Her face turned crimson. She slammed her glass down, red wine bleeding across the white tablecloth. You selfish bastard, she shouted, her voice cracking. You let me believe I was better than you, and all this time you were hiding money. My father's fork was still frozen midair. My mother's lips trembled, but she stayed silent. And that silence was everything. The beauty wasn't the money, it was the reveal. For years, I was the afterthought. Tonight, she was the spectacle, red-faced, raging, unraveling. And I was the calm center everyone kept looking back to. I didn't argue. I didn't raise my voice. I just let her destroy herself with every word. And when she screamed, "It's not fair," I gave the smallest smile. Because fairness had never been part of this family. She stormed out, slamming the door so hard the windows rattled. The silence that followed was heavier than any explosion. My father finally lowered his fork and stared at me like he was really seeing me for the first time in years, though. No words came. My mother's napkin was balled up in her fist, knuckles white. I stood, put on my coat, and left them in their silence. In the weeks that followed, the phone calls came. My sister screaming. My mother begging. My father demanding. Most of the time, I ignored them. When I did answer, it was only to remind them, you never asked me who I was becoming. You only told me who I wasn't. Then I'd hang up. Do I feel guilty? No. This wasn't revenge, not exactly. It was truth, delivered at the sharpest angle possible. For once, I didn't have to fight to be noticed. I made them see me. I forced my sister to choke on the reality that the brother she mocked had surpassed her. 8 million wasn't just money, it was proof. Proof that I built my life with my own hands. Proof they couldn't erase or twist. That Thanksgiving ended with a shattered wineglass, a screaming sister, and a father too stunned to speak. But for me, it ended with silence. Sweet, heavy, victorious silence. The kind you taste after a lifetime of being invisible, when suddenly, finally, you are undeniable.